woods. Justin Timberlake style. I like it, man in the woods.
What's up?
Is that a green screen backdrop, or that's really your how you living?
I'm about to say that's how he living. I can tell the difference.
This is Chapel Hill, North Carolina, guys.
Oh, that's Chapel Hill. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
That's what's up, man. Ross, thank you for joining us. Ross is here from Inside Carolina, correct? Yeah, Inside Carolina. Contributor over there for football and basketball, correct?
That's right. Yeah, football, basketball, a little recruiting mixed in there. Mostly the two major revenue sports.
Hey, Ross, real quick before we get into
coming on here today.
Before we get into the North Carolina win, real quick, Larry, before we get into that win that North Carolina's about to get, Ross, what kind of animals do you have in your backyard and stuff? And I know you have a lot of wildlife that goes here, right?
Yeah, so we got some deer back here every once in a while. We had a fox family this summer back here. Nice. I get a lot of snakes, lizards, frogs. Of course, a lot of squirrels, but the coolest thing is deer. I'll be working out here, and no bear out here. Maybe some coyotes occasionally, but the fox was the coolest thing this summer. We had a fox family that ate my neighbor's chickens. I got chickens next door.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of country back here.
I mean, you can't leave your puppies and shit out neither if they eating kittens, man. Coyotes don't play.
That's right.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Right. Hey, nature is ruthless, man. You know, as far as they're concerned, that's just another meal. I ain't mad at them.
Yeah, that's
right. You know, they say protect your chickens. So first off, man, I want to ask you, how much did my man Rick, aka just call me Mav, endorsement get you to come on? He gave me the stamp quick, man. I was like, oh man, what's up, Rick? Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean that was good to see. I see that guy a lot on you cut out there for a second, but I see that guy a lot on Twitter. So I always try not to turn down anything. You know, you got to promote yourself, and so if anybody wants to have me on their show, I usually, you know, will go on. I mean, I don't really care who it is, or I've done like 2 or 3 things in Miami already. So I try to, you know, get my name out there as much as possible, and never say no. I think that's a good way to kind of live life. So I usually will say yes to anybody if I have the time, and it works out. So,
man of the people, I like to hear that. So you Carolina born and bred, or a transplant?
Yeah, born in Greensboro, which is about an hour west of Chapel Hill, and
North Carolina A&T.
That's right. Yeah, I went to elementary school really close to A&T, in downtown there. And then went to UNC a while back and moved around a little bit, but came back here in 2015 to cover UNC. So I've been covering them pretty hardcore since about 14, 15. Been with Inside Carolina since 2017 with 24/7 Sports and CBS. So it's been pretty good. Good team to cover. Football, you know, football is a little mediocre, but basketball, I've been to 3 Final Fours, 3 national championship games with basketball. So that's been pretty fun.
Matt got to be fun to cover, though. We're going to get into some real football talk here in a second, but Matt got to be fun to cover, though.
Yeah. He's good. I mean, he's good with the media. You know, he was in the media, so he kind of gets it. You know, he'll talk. That can be a good thing. That can also take up a lot of time, but he can talk and he'll tell you. I mean, he's honest. You ask him a question, he'll give you an honest answer. And I guess you'd rather have someone who talks than someone who doesn't talk. You know, there is some coach speak mixed in, but you know, you ask him a pretty good question, he'll try to give you a pretty good answer. That's kind of what you want. And they're good with the media. I think UNC, you know, kind of wants as much exposure as possible. So they've been pretty good with availabilities and getting us access to players and coaches within reason. So yeah, and he gets it. You know, he's a pretty nice guy, pretty fun, pretty loose guy. So yeah, it's been good.
What you think? I don't know how close you know, or what you think Mac do for fun now that he don't got Manny the bully no more? Fire the man.
Just go bully his cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac, his cousin.
I mean,
wow, that's hilarious.
I done told y'all about that racism on here, man. People are not related. You can't just keep connecting my Cubans, bro. 2 totally different regimes.
Mac's got a house in the mountains. He's got a $10 million house on the beach. He likes to golf, but I mean, he has got a big time house in Chapel Hill. So I think he likes coaching, likes to get back on coaching, but he likes to play his golf and likes to go to the mountains. Other than that, you know, count his money and hang out.
Right.
It's just
Put on his
it's
J's.
just go
Go to the mall and
that's
say,
right.
y'all ain't got these.
That's what I imagine all old rich people do, just count their money when they're bored, man.
Yeah, I think I do think he likes coaching and enjoys being back in it. I think when you get a certain age, you get kind of bored. You need something to do. And so getting back into coaching, like it's a challenge for him, and it kind of keeps him occupied. He's pretty passionate about it. Apparently, I mean, he has unlimited energy when it comes to trying to get UNC football back on track.
That's so good. Well, let's talk a little ball, man. Get right into it. Obviously, I know if you done spoke on this at all, the man of the hour, the phenom, Drake Maye. His accuracy is nice, but he's got good legs too, man. Pause, I guess, if necessary. I probably need to say that. Is there any weaknesses in this game so far? I ain't seen nothing bad.
Yeah, I mean it's been pretty good so far. I would say, if anything, just he's young, and so occasionally you see him get a little rattled when there's pressure. I think when there is some pressure on him, he's not as good, which makes sense. Which makes sense for a true freshman. Weaknesses, man, I think he get a little stronger, and I think he needs to protect himself. I don't know if y'all seen, but man, he jumps over guys, then gets hit. He got his wind knocked out of him against Virginia Tech, which is pretty scary. He's not one to slide or to get out of bounds, but he's very aggressive in trying to get the first down, trying to score. And man, if UNC lost him, they would not be very good. So he needs to protect himself. That'd be the one knock on him right now is look, you are this team right now. Slide, get out of bounds, protect yourself. But yeah, Drake Maye, super accurate, 6'5", can see over the line, pick apart defense. He's going into his 6th game, and he is number 1 in the nation in passing touchdowns. I think UNC is like top 15 in passing yards, 1 interception. He can hit the deep ball. He's got some good receivers, and Josh Downs, who I think will be a top pick in the next couple of years or in next year's draft. A top 2-round pick. And like you said, he can do some stuff with his feet too. Now, he's not a blazer with his legs, but he can move around. He can create time and space. And he can go get that first down, go get that touchdown. So it's been incredible to watch how good he is as early as it is right now. Coming off Sam Howell, who's now with the Washington Commanders. He was pretty good for 3 years, and it seems already Drake Maye is already at that level where,
Sam
Howell was great.
Yeah, Drake Maye is everything that I said Tyler Van Dyke was. I got help too. They told me that, and then I don't know. They ruined my man so far. We'll see if we can get it fixed against a defense that has been suspect to say the least. A lot of talent out there, a lot of star power. What do you think, if you could, pinpoint something that you think might be the largest issue with the defense as of right now?
Man, I think they can't run the ball, or they can't stop the run. And you know how it is, man. If you can't stop the run, you can't be a good defense. You have to stop the run. And that was the issue against Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame just ran the ball, and UNC could not stop them. Whether it was issues with tackling from the linebacker position, filling the gaps, being in the right gap as defensive line. And so if Notre Dame, if Miami or any team, if they want to see how to beat UNC from an offensive standpoint, and look at what Notre Dame did and try to replicate that. Because Notre Dame has a lot of talent, big bodies, big offensive linemen. But they took it to UNC, and UNC was helpless against the Irish. So that's the blueprint I would do if I was a team. Just try to run the ball, and then force them to go 8 in the box, 7 in the box, and then try to hit the deep ball or try to pass it. But UNC's had trouble stopping the run. They were better against Virginia Tech, but I don't think Virginia Tech's that good. I know Miami will play them obviously pretty soon, and I think Virginia Tech's one of the worst teams in the ACC. So I don't know how much you can really take from UNC's 41-10 win over the Hokies last weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to go into that game confidently, but I gotta wait. We gotta see what happens with this UNC game first. Usually one of the biggest telltale signs for me, I like to ask guys that are a little closer to the team. Real quick, can you kind of grade out the trenches on both sides, like just an overall letter, offensive line and then defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give the UNC offensive line like a C plus. I think they've been really good in pass protection, but I think they leave a little bit more to be desired in run blocking.
Thank God.
The running backs have kind of struggled on first and second down to kind of get that 4, 5, 6 yards, which can really help you when it comes down third down, second down. So I think they need a lot of work on run blocking. So C plus, B. Pass protection has been a lot better, and that's helped Drake Maye. That was a little bit of concern because Sam Howell was always running for his life. Defensive line, I'll give defensive line a D, a D minus. Not getting much pressure on the passer. Obviously, the run game concerns, run defense concerns, which I talked about. And at D, maybe I think D plus. That's a little rough, but they need a big game, and I think they need to show it against Miami and then Duke. And from there, we'll have a better idea of what this defensive line is. I mean, maybe D plus, C minus. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be too harsh to these guys. They're 18, 19,
it's early, but I feel you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting battered up front, it's kind of hard to, show much love. Maybe they'll hear it and get inspired to see if they can turn this thing around a little bit.
Ross, I do think they're go ahead.
I got a question, Larry. But go ahead, Ross. Go ahead and finish your statement.
Well, I do think Notre Dame was really, really good. I think Notre Dame had a really good defensive line, and that's important. I don't think UNC will face a team like Notre Dame again on the schedule. So what Notre Dame did to them from a defensive standpoint, I don't think they'll face a defensive line like that or an offensive line like that again.
Ross, real quick, give me your take on the North Carolina secondary. I know Dre Bly's done a really good job of recruiting in regards to the secondary. He's got a lot of star power within the UNC secondary. Of course, he's a former Tar Heel himself, NFL great. Give your take on Dre Bly in the secondary and what they've been doing so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, he has recruited well. He obviously recruits more than just cornerback. Storm Duck, what a name there. Storm Duck is a veteran. He's been okay. Tony Grimes is this 5-star kid they got out of Tidewater, Virginia.
Reclassified as well, right?
Yeah, he reclassified. He skipped his senior year. It was all during the COVID area type stuff. He reclassified. He moved it up to try to get to the NFL as soon as possible. He's been okay. They've gotten a little bit better. I think the issue with the secondary has been the safeties. I think the cornerbacks have been okay. I think we expected a lot more from them because on paper, man, Storm Duck's been really good. He's really good as a freshman. Tony Grimes is pretty good as a freshman. And so you would think when they're juniors and seniors, third-year players, they'd be a lot better. But the defense has been, very suspect, to be honest. And we're just hoping to see a little bit better performance from them each game as they get better and better. Because they have a new defensive coordinator. They do have, there is some time to improve under a whole new defensive system.
Chizik, right?
That's right, Gene Chizik. For his second time at UNC. He was there. Yeah, he was there in 15 and 16. And he was pretty good there. He only stayed for 2 years and then moved back to Alabama. But he's back here in 2022.
No doubt. I know you're limited on time, so I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. I have a few more questions for you. If you, we know about Downs. Haven't really heard a ton about the running backs this season, and obviously Maye. So, who would you kind of give me as maybe your X factor on the offensive side of the ball? A guy that may surprise a few people coming into this game who may not have seen the Tar Heels so far on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good guy to just for fans to know would be Bryson Nesbitt. He's a 6'6" tight end. You know about Josh Downs. Antoine Green is a deep thret wide receiver and a Florida guy. But Bryson Nesbitt has been really showing out. I think he had 90-something yards and a touchdown against Virginia Tech. 6'6", 230, kind of in that mold of an NFL, wide receiver / tight end combo athlete. So Drake Maye loves to hit him across the middle. He's been an end zone threat as well. So Bryson Nesbitt would be the player, just kind of that X factor player that fans should kind of know. You'll see him too. I mean, he's legit kind of 6'6", big bodied tight end out there that can catch a ball and take it, 10, 15 yards after the catch.
Ross, real quick. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead. You good, bro.
What do you think about
Uncle
this
Silk.
Miami team? Yeah, that's the the vibes, man. Ross, what do you think about this this Miami team? They just dropped one in Middle Tennessee State. We know Mario has a reputation for recruiting and what he could do, and he's back in South Florida. But what's your opinion of this matchup, this team? Anything that scare you? What do you see on film?
So what I would ask y'all is like the quarterback situation just seems kind of dicey. You know, they bench Tyler Van Dyke, and the backup looks pretty good, right? Garcia, he looked pretty good when he was in there. So then you have this kind of, I don't know, I haven't watched as much tape as y'all, but that's just, I would worry about the confidence of Tyler Van Dyke. You know, being careful, not making the right reads and throws because he's nervous of getting pulled again. And if he gets pulled one more time, like, man, you got to kind of move on. And we heard all the hype about him coming off last year. You know, he was kind of that breakout player. And so, you know, obviously quarterback's the most important position. So that's kind of my question, like what's going on at quarterback, and is there a short leash now, or are they going to roll with him? Was that just kind of a deal where you get him out so he doesn't hurt himself anymore? And then what I think in general with Miami, it's like this, you know, you always think they should be good because of the recruiting base down there in South Florida, and they just haven't gotten to that point yet. You would think Crystal Ball can get things rolling. And so I always think that Miami has these athletes, and as long as athletes can get developed and get coached, they can always be pretty special. But they do have athletes. And I watched one game. I watched Miami, man. Those receivers were dropping balls left and right, and that's my kind of. I didn't watch much tape, but that's the takeaway. I think it was against Texas A&M. Man, they were dropping a bunch of balls. So I'll ask y'all, you know, what's the deal at quarterback, and then the concerns, like, you know. Is it pretty low morale now? What's the deal?
I mean, you know, coach speak.
They still lying a little bit, Ross. Morale ain't
well, I mean, it's
always
coach speak. What you gonna do? You gonna come out and
still lying a little bit?
Yeah, you can't come out and be like, yeah, we in some shit. You know what I mean? Like that can't be the movie. So he's got to give him the support. He will be starting. I mean, short leash, I would imagine relatively. That's just my speculation on the situation. I don't, you know, obviously have any actual information on that, but we can, you know, you mentioned earlier about running. We can be dangerous in the run game. We did get healthy again, so that will help. We were concerned we are going to be down our top two backs, but said they're full go. So, you know, that'll present some issues. Hopefully we can get that going, because we didn't get it going against Middle Tennessee State. So, you know, I don't know what to think of this team right now, to be honest with you, man. It's totally schizophrenic. And new coach, new regime, got to get some of that old stuff out of there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's early with Cristobal, man. It's just the transition's tough. Like, it's a whole new system, whole new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Like, it's not going to happen like that. These are, like I always say, it's 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Like, it's not like an NFL team where you inject a coaching staff and you would just, they can go, you know, 12-6 or whatever. So I think it takes some time, and once they get, I mean, he can recruit. He's from that area. I think it's easy to recruit in Miami, especially with the NIL stuff. So I think from the ACC perspective, like, I don't think Cristobal going to Miami was it didn't make a lot of everybody else feel great, because I think he's a big time coach. So you put the right coach, I think, in a situation where he can be successful. And from a kind of a big picture standpoint, like, that's what the ACC needs. They need Miami, they need Florida State. They need Virginia Tech to be good, along with Clemson, obviously.
You're asking a lot right now. You're asking a lot.
Yeah. It's downtown. I know what. If Mario can't do it, we might well go ahead and hang the program up. I can tell you that.
He put Virginia Tech in there too.
I agree. They've been down.
But that was when we brought Miami and Virginia Tech over, that was the thought process, right?
You sent an invitation.
CJ was in there. He had a key to the
CJ. Hey, y'all invite Miami.
I mean, but seriously, Ross, I feel like that was the goal, right? To have a powerhouse in Virginia Tech, because at that point in time, they were pretty good football programs.
Yeah, I think the leadership in the ACC was like, we need to get better at football. Let's bring in these successful programs like Miami, who was killing it, you know, in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s under Butch Davis, et cetera, and then Virginia Tech under Beamer. And I think Virginia Tech, they don't have it anymore, because I don't know if y'all been up there, man. It is in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to recruit there. They have this culture of, like, kind of blue collar, hard nosed, gritty, but it doesn't have that Beamer feeling anymore. But I think Miami is such a like Virginia Tech's not a national brand. Virginia Tech is a regional brand. I think Miami is a national brand. The U, the colors, all the famous alums, like those talented teams y'all had with I think it was the 2000 team or 2001 team, which had like what 15, 20 first round picks or some crazy like that. Like I think you know what I'm talking about. What team was that? Was it 2001?
That was you talking about the
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, the U has a national brand, and I think it still does. So I think you put the right coach in there. I think it can get back. And look, the ACC is winnable. It's always winnable. Outside of Clemson, man, I just don't know why.
Did you see the Middle Tennessee State game? You actually
that's why it's so confusing, man.
Yeah,
that's why it's so confusing.
That's all right. Hey, listen, you're gonna have to come down there. UNC gonna have to come down there and play in front of a raucous crowd of 3,000. I don't know if y'all used to playing in a place that quiet. I don't know if you could play in amongst the whispers and the fighting in the stands amongst us fans, but
it might be louder at practice, Ross.
It's all good. It's
all
good. I think they'll have a decent showing for that one. We'll see. I don't think it'll sell out, but it's UNC, so it ought to be a pretty decent showing for that one. All in all,
do y'all travel well, Ross?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too many Carolina fans down there either. I mean, there'll be some.
But I said it could have been a home field. It could have been a home field game for you guys. Y'all travel pretty decent.
Yeah. It won't be like Clemson or Florida State, or it won't be like, UNC fans, man. They're not the best football fans either, to be honest.
Nice stadium, though. I've been there when we on the 4th and 17. Yeah, it's a nice place. I enjoyed it. All right, Ross, before we get you out of here, man, let's go ahead and get that old nasty score prediction out of the way.
Okay.
Real quick,
you got one?
Give you overall synopsis of the game, how you see it playing out, not just the score,
both sides.
How you see it playing out.
What has to happen for UNC to win? What has to happen for Miami to win?
I think if Miami can run the ball, they can take the game into the fourth quarter, force some turnovers, and they'll be there. They can run the ball. Now, that means you have to show it kind of the first quarter, second quarter. If they can run the ball, that should give you Miami fans hope. Now the spread is Miami still favored,
to shorten
right?
the game like they Georgia Southern or something, huh?
Yeah, keep the ball out of Drake Maye's hands. That's the key, and then maybe get a turnover. Usually whoever wins a turnover battle wins. So then get a turnover and run the ball and keep UNC's defense off the field.
I'm not a MEAC program.
Man, I think UNC has the better offense, and I think if they can't limit Drake Maye, I think UNC could win by a touchdown or more. Like, this offense is legit. Now, if they can figure out if they can figure out some things in the run game, it's hard to stop, man, when they get going. So, they need to put pressure on Drake Maye, make him uncomfortable. But man, he's been so good. There's no reason to think, just based on kind of how Miami's looked recently, there's no reason to think that Drake won't have a big game. And I think the team with the better quarterback usually wins when things are equal. So I'm picking UNC, and I don't know why the spread is. I don't know why Miami's favored right now. I don't know what they know, what Vegas knows, but I'll go something like, I'll go like 31, 20, 27, 28, around that range. I think you can stay pretty close there. I think UNC can put some points there. Yeah. UNC moves fast. They can score like that. They can score like that.
We know UNC. A lot of points for UNC. We know that's a given.
UNC. I got more points for UNC. I like your 31, but I'm gonna raise you.
All right, go ahead.
Let's try to be nice.
Don't be nice on this show. Have you heard how they talk to me? There ain't no niceness on this show.
I predicted a dog fight with Middle Tennessee State, Ross. So they got to give me my flowers a little bit. But give me 44. 17, man. North Carolina, I think they run away with it, man. I think it gets ugly down there.
That's crazy. I had 17 for my offensive score for UM2. So I'm gonna go 38-17. UNC. I think, like I said, from what I've seen, UM's defense isn't that good. And then, like I say, Maye in that UNC offense is pretty explosive. And I haven't seen too much at all from Miami's offense. So yeah, this is something that Larry Yon said on our past podcast. If Miami can't score points, then it's a wrap. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna say 17-38 UNC.
It's gonna be interesting because I think if they start slow like they did the last couple games, right? If they start slow like that, it could get ugly quick. And just curious to see if it does get ugly quick, how fast they go to Jake Garcia.
Larian, what you got?
It's been, the streak is, I think it's 4 right now. So
they beat y'all 4 times in a row?
It's 3 or 4.
Yeah. Mac has not lost. Mac hasn't lost, so Mac's 3-0.
Oh, Mac, big dog.
Yeah, Mac don't play that, man.
That's your big homie.
Hey, I always respect it. You ain't never heard me get on this show and disrespect nobody who been kicking our butt.
No, you've been saying you take more serious as a rival. You've been saying that for a long time.
I've been trying to tell the fans. I don't know what y'all sleeping on. Oh, it's Carolina. All right, chalk it up. You keep losing though. I look at it like if we can get this run game back on track, it'll help Tyler get his confidence going. Again, like I said, the defense hadn't, stopped the nosebleed outside of Virginia Tech, who is abysmal, I think. I can't believe how bad they are right now. But with that being said, I'm going to take we come alive, man. 42-34, man. Canes in front of a crowd of 3,700, man. You know what I'm saying? Screaming fans. We rush the field. We bring the field goal down. The curse is over. You know what I mean?
The optimistic numbers. I'll tell you that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I learned from the best. Yeah. 50-something on USF, right?
I don't know what I said, but
yeah, it wasn't good.
We got out of there with a win, man.
Anyway, that's true.
Ross, how you doing, my guy? Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Tell the people where they can find you at.
Yeah, InsideCarolina.com, and then on Twitter at @RossMartin_IC. We have tons of good podcasts out too, so check out our YouTube page, Inside Carolina on YouTube, and then anywhere you get your podcast, just search for Inside Carolina. Tons of preview stuff. Any Miami fans kind of want to get a little glimpse inside UNC before the Hurricanes Tar Heels game. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks
a
a
lot.
Man,
hold it down, Ross.
All right, we'll see y'all.